Well, hey, everybody, this is Kim Stevens, your community leader for the Women of the Channel Leadership Network. Welcome to another WOW session. I love when I get to interview a dear friend. So I am so happy to introduce you to Miss Cyndi Echendu, who is the Strategic Account Executive with INOC. Cyndi, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Kim. I'm excited to be here.
You work for INOC. There may be some folks out there that aren't familiar with INOC. Can you just give us the lowdown on who INOC is?
Absolutely, Kim. Thank you. We have been in business 22 years. INOC stands for Internet Network Operations Center. There are two sides of our business. One is NOC Operations Consulting Services, where we will consult people, do what I'm calling kind of a health check. We'll go in, help with assessment around people, platform, process, the tools they're using, do an ROI, and really assist them with their own NOC internally. And then we also have the second side of our business, which is NOC support, full NOC support. So if someone wanted to augment or completely put their tier one NOC calls, alarms, emails off onto a company like INOC, that is what we would do. That's our core competency. A lot of our clients say, can you lessen the noise of tier one tickets coming into our NOC? So not help desk, not service desk, not config, true network operations center, tier one tickets.
You've been in the channel for a while, right? And you've done a lot of different things, but maybe just give the members just a lowdown on like how you got to where you are.
So it's interesting. I have a retail merchandising and management degree. I actually studied fashion journalism in London and thought I wanted to be a buyer. I was like, I'm in retail, I'm in fashion, I want to be a buyer. Right out of college, my very first interview process with like the recruiting company that helps you get placed, the placement firm, if you will, said, you don't belong sitting behind a desk crunching numbers. You're a people person. And I started my career with Target. And I only mention that because it was such a great place to start your career. Target was opening 500 stores a year at the time. And what I learned there is if a customer says, I'd like you to do a cartwheel in sporting goods, you do a cartwheel in sporting goods. And I only mention that because the customer service piece has been so important throughout my career and making customers happy. It's not about me or you, especially when you're in sales, right? It's about that customer, right? So from there, I went to the wireless industry. From the wireless industry, I got my first job in software with micrographics, which was actually eventually absorbed by, I want to say, Corel and then Adobe. We had a flow charting tool, and it's interesting. I'll take it back to the channel now. When I first started with micrographics, I was like, why do we have a channel? Why aren't we just selling direct? I'm not sure I understand this. I don't get it. And it took me a while to really understand the value of the channel, right? But I got here today through a lot of hard work, a lot of resiliency, and leaning on people that knew more than me, and really, finding mentors, men and women, finding good managers, realizing who was a good manager and who wasn't, what I wanted to be when I grow up, but like how you want to navigate your career, right? I got here with a lot of hard work, but the help of a lot of other people. You have to have a team behind you that you know and trust and like working with. So that was kind of a long-winded answer, but
I love that though, because it's so interesting. When we were at the West Coast event, and I was up on stage, I asked the question, how many folks started out their career knowing they wanted to be in the channel? I don't think a single hand went up.
No.
I didn't know what the heck channel was. And so the fact that you're like, why don't we just sell direct? What is it? And now you're part of this whole nother world with all kinds of opportunities.
It's so excellent when you can show founders of a company the power of the channel, which I'm doing right now in my role. I've kind of weaved in and out of the channel. I've been kind of with the channel, with the manufacturer. I've kind of come in and out of the channel, and it's been great because I understand both sides. I understand the pain points. I understand the part about the solution selling. I understand how to be a good channel partner, how to find good channel partners, but there is no better vehicle. We call it rinse and repeat, right? In the channel, we call it rinse and repeat. How do you find a deal and just find that same vertical or that same like client and just keep repeating the process when you have a good product that you're selling. The channel,
Yeah.
I love it. I love being part of the channel. It's great.
What are some things that have been like super valuable lessons you've learned? Like you already mentioned customer service, you do a cartwheel in the sporting goods section, so are there other things that you've learned along the way that have really helped you?
I just think like anything else in life, you have to take what people tell you and then decide for yourself, right? For example, there are, the VAR partners, the DMRs, the channel players, right? Whether you're big, small, medium, it doesn't matter. You're trying to develop that VAR perspective, that value added reseller, right? And for a while, people would say, you don't have to be technical. You don't have to know the technology. You don't have to understand it. You're building a relationship. You're providing a discounted price, or you're finding the services that go along with that software, that hardware, or what have you. And you have to decide for yourself when anyone gives you information on what you're going to do with it. For example, I, for a long time, was like, no, I'm not technical. That's not my lane. That's not where I stay in my lane. I'm not technical. I build relationships. I understand high level, but I rely on my people. At the same time, you can be really good if you're technical. You can kind of have both sides of the coin. I remember my first week at Micrographics, I cut something out of the paper that said, no, I hope I get this right. It said, it's easier to teach someone in sales how to be technical versus teaching someone technical how to sell, right? Mm-hmm. So, not to horn toot, I use that once in a while, but if you have the good sales foundation and sales background, right? I would say to especially young females and males coming up, learn the technology. It's going to help you. It's going to do nothing but help you. And if someone says you don't need to learn it, okay. But if you want to learn it, go ahead and learn it on your own and dig into it, because you're going to be better for it.
Is there something that you so know now that, geez, don't you wish you knew when you started off? Is it to just follow your own compass, and if it means digging into the technology, so be it? Or is there anything else that you would share that you've learned along the way?
One of my very first mentors at Micrographics, and going all the way back to my first software sales job, phenomenal guy. His name is Lonnie Martin. I don't even know if he's still in the industry. I should look him up. He impressed upon me that I was running Cyndi Co within Micrographics. And I was like, Cyndi Co, what's that? And I'm kidding. I mean, it took me a minute, right? I'm like, well, I'm not running I'm running my own business inside of this business. And I have to remind myself of that from an empowerment standpoint, from a commission standpoint, from raising my hand and standing up and being brave standpoint, from I don't believe in the direction we're going with the company standpoint, whatever that may be. I'm now mentoring someone at INOC, and I mentioned that the other day. You're running your own company within a company, and I think that that is something I know, but I have to continue to remind myself of, because it's empowerment to have that. And then there's also, what does that mean for you in the future? Does that mean running your own company? Does that mean starting your own thing? What does that look like? Right. So I would say that mentality of running your own business inside of an organization.
I know you're a mom, and even though your daughter's off to school, right, you're always a mom. And then you're running Cyndi Co. So what are things that you do to make sure that you're creating a good, healthy for you work-life integration?
So this is going to kind of be probably an odd answer, but this started for me when I was at SHI. I spent 7 years at SHI on straight commission. So part of my joke is that I should just write a book called Single Mom on Straight Commission, because maybe that would be a good idea. But for me, not setting an alarm, knowing yourself and knowing your body. I know that I'm going off topic here, but when I stopped setting an alarm, because I knew I wake up, right? I wake up at 7 in the morning, no matter what. I'm up by 7:30, no matter what happens. I've never really slept past that. I know this is off topic, but that changed my world. Not having that anxious stress of an alarm clock is paramount for me. It changes everything. Now, don't get me wrong, if I have a super crazy important meeting at 7 a.m., right, then I set an alarm. But if I know I don't have to be online till 8, maybe some days 8:30, I don't set an alarm. And it was life changing when I learned that for myself, just for myself. That really changed a lot for me from a stress standpoint. I am doing more, if you want to call it self-care. I know that's a really popular buzzword right now, right? But I'm kind of getting back to me and finding my way back to me now that I have an empty nest. But I've always had a pretty good work-life balance. I think that if you don't, it's just going to wear you out and make you, super stressed. Taking vacations is really, really important. Getting to the gym, right? Drinking water, all that kind of stuff you have to keep in the front of your brain when you're trying to do it all.
Well, Cyndi, thank you so much for letting me ask you these questions and sharing your story with our members. I really appreciate it.
I've told you this. You are so good at your job and what you do, and you're just shining. It's just amazing to see you thrive in this position. I'm so happy for you. I love being part of the Women of the Channel Leadership Network. Cannot wait to see everyone in December. And I'm pulling some ladies from INOC, so they should be joining soon.
Oh, that's wonderful. You guys see why I love her? So when you guys listen to this, please give Cyndi a shout out. Let her know that you appreciate what she has shared. And we will see you on the next WOW session. You guys take care.
Thanks, Kim.
Bye.
Bye.